Okay, Torah concept, New Testament. Do not walk as fools. Okay, so Paul's warning to not walk as fools in Ephesians 5:15 echoes the Torah's instructions that distinguish the wise path of obedience from the destructive paths of folly. The Torah consistently frames folly as ignoring God's commands, rejecting discernment, and walking in ways that lead to harm. So the Torah parallels. 1, Deuteronomy 4:6, Israel is commanded to keep God's statutes because doing so is wisdom. Neglecting them is implicitly folly. 2, Deuteronomy 32, Moshe rejects or rebukes Israel for acting corruptly and foolishly toward God, showing that folly is covenant unfaithfulness. 3, Numbers 12, Aaron confesses we have done foolishly, linking folly with sin and failure to heed God's word. 4, Deuteronomy 11, choosing disobedience is choosing the curse. Walking contrary to God's commands is the Torah's definition of foolish walking. 5, Deuteronomy 30, the choice between life and death, blessing and curse, frames wisdom as obedience and folly as turning away from God's voice. 6, Exodus 32, the golden calf incident demonstrates that the ultimate folly, abandoning God's instruction for self-directed behavior. And 7, Leviticus 26, rejecting God's statutes leads to consequences that expose the foolishness of disobedience. So the context here is that Paul's exhortation to walk not as fools but as wise fits seamlessly into the Torah's narrative and its complex logic. You know, wisdom is obedience, folly is deviation from God's revealed path. The Torah repeatedly warns that ignoring God's voice produces moral blindness, communal harm, and divine discipline. And Paul's contrast between fools and wise walking is therefore not new, but a continuation of the Torah's framework for discerning the path of life. In both the Torah and Paul, wisdom is not intellectual brilliance, but covenantal alignment with God's will revealed through his commands and his ways, made known by Yeshua, in Yeshua. Okay, so the core insight here is that the Torah defines folly as rejecting God's instruction, and Paul draws directly on this framework when urging believers to walk wisely. To walk as fools is to live without discernment, ignoring God's revealed will, while wise walking is faithful obedience shaped by the light of God's truth in Yeshua, in the Mashiach, in the Messiah. And again, this is how Paul taught Torah in the New Testament. The Torah has not passed away.